Today on Public Eye News, a fatal car crash on US 2, but first, an award is given to a physician for outstanding performance in medical education.
Coming up, JT DeMog will have your weather forecast, where we'll take a look at conditions for today and days to come, and later he will give you your sports breakdown. I'm Emily Goodacre.
And I'm Bianca Kroll, and this is Public Eye News. The Office of Medical Education is recognizing the collaboration and contributions from Aspire's physicians. These physicians are recognized for their contributions and importance of training up the next generation of medical professionals. This year, the award went to Amy Kubler, a family nurse practitioner with Aspire's Crandon Clinic. Kubler demonstrated a passion to train advanced practice students or medical students, recognizing it as a good thing to do. She taught students how to help heal people, promote health, and strengthen communities. A nurse practitioner student had said that her love for teaching preceded her on the first day. Kubler explained the expectation that students will learn and expects students to make mistakes. The student also said that Aspires and her patients are lucky to have her, and she excels as a clinician. An NMU College of Business students participated in January in a short-term abroad experience in Panama. The students worked alongside rural and indigenous entrepreneurs to strengthen and grow local businesses. 8 students worked together with entrepreneurs who often lack access to formal education, digital tools, and financial software. One group worked with Jimmy Gonzalez, a baker who owns Maduniga or House of Bread, on step-by-step guide to permit process. He eventually wants his grandson to take over after him and succeed. Janelle Harris's group worked with Ada with marketing, financials, and ways to grow her business. Sergey Blackwood said that working with real clients helps with pushing students outside the classroom mindset very quickly. Blackwood reflected that this was the most meaningful experience they have had with NMU.
A 1970s themed orchid show is bringing bright colors and retro vibes to the Chicago Botanic Garden. The event, called the Orchard Show Feeling Groovy, features more than 10,000 orchids displayed in colorful designs inspired by the 70s. Visitors can see fun displays like a yellow Volkswagen Beetle filled with orchids, along with rare species such as a Darwin's orchid. The show is family-friendly and designed to be immersed with plenty of photo-worthy moments throughout the exhibit. Timed entry tickets are available, and organizers are encouraged to plan ahead, as popular weekends are expected to sell out. The show is meant to give people a cheerful escape from winter. The show runs from February 7th through March 22nd. A fatal crash is under investigation in Schoolcraft County. Michigan State Police says a crash between a semi-truck and a pickup truck happened Friday night, February 6th, on US 2 near County Road 442 in Inwood Township. Troopers say the pickup was traveling westbound and attempting to pass another vehicle during whiteout conditions and icy roads when it lost control and struck an eastbound semi-truck. Police say a 38-year-old woman from Rapid River was pronounced dead at the scene. 4 others in the pickup were injured and taken to an area hospital. A passenger in the rear seat was eventually flown to the Milwaukee Children's Hospital. The semi-truck driver was not hurt. Drugs and alcohol are not believed to be factors. The crash remains under investigation. Congress has just days to reach a compromise on immigration enforcement reforms before funding lapses for the Department of Homeland Security. Republicans and Democrats are still far apart from some of the key proposals, putting agencies under TSA, the Coast Guard, and FEMA at risk. Natalie Brand has the latest from the White House.
The ball is in the court right now of the Republicans.
Facing a Friday deadline, Democrats and Republicans on Capitol Hill appear far from a deal on immigration enforcement reforms after federal agents fatally shot 2 U.S. citizens in Minneapolis.
Either they're going to agree to dramatically reform the way in which ICE and other immigration enforcement agencies are conducting themselves, or they're making the explicit decision to shut down the Coast Guard, shut down FEMA, and shut down TSA.
While there's been bipartisan agreement around requiring body cameras, there's pushback to other proposed changes, such as prohibiting masks and tightening rules around warrants. The Trump administration has relied on administrative warrants signed by immigration officials, not judges.
I want to give law enforcement every tool they need to go out and apprehend these convicted criminals that are loose in our community. To me, that makes a lot of sense. Why you would want to shackle your own law enforcement from keeping our community safe, makes no sense to me.
The standoff on Capitol Hill comes as a new internal DHS document obtained by CBS News is shedding more light on the backgrounds of those arrested. The document reveals less than 14% of nearly 400,000 immigrants arrested by ICE in 2025 had charges or convictions for violent crimes.
We're focusing on the criminals, we're focusing on killers, but ultimately they all broke the law. Some can, if they do it in a certain way, they can go out, they can come back.
The document also shows nearly 40% of those arrested did not have any criminal record and were only accused of civil immigration offenses. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Now don't touch that dial. We'll be back with weather after this short break.
Enslaved people like Harriet Tubman were the original abolitionists.
She was very to the point. My name is Harriet Tubman. I'm here to take you to freedom. You need to follow me, and we need to move right now.
She's someone who saw herself as having a purpose and who was on earth to deliver on that purpose.
Harriet Tubman, Visions of Freedom.
Monday night at 10 on WNMU TV.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm JT Demag, here to bring you today's weather forecast. Taking a look at our campus camera here, we have the sun poking through the clouds a little bit, but still remaining cloudy. The sidewalks here on campus are starting to clear up a little bit. Hopefully that's a good sign. Taking a look into our current conditions in Houghton, it is 34 and cloudy, with cloudy conditions throughout the whole UP here. In Ironwood, it is 35 degrees, in Iron Mountain, 33, and down in Menominee, it is 31. Taking a look to the other side of our board here, in Escanaba, it is 30. In Manistee, it is 31 with some snow. And in the Sioux, it is 23 degrees with heavier snow. And back here in Marquette, it is 33 degrees and cloudy. Taking a closer look into those current conditions here, we have winds out of the north at 10 miles an hour with a barometric pressure of 29.99 inches and falling. Now looking into tonight, we have cloudy conditions again with a low of 30, winds out of the south-southwest at 9 miles an hour, and our moon phase is a waning gibbous. Now moving into tomorrow, we have a snowy rain mix with a high of 33, a low of 23, and winds out of the west-northwest at 17. Finishing off the week here with our extended forecast on Wednesday, it will be 24 degrees and cloudy with a low of 17. On Thursday, the sun starts to come through again with a high of 28 and a low of 14. And on Friday, our warmest day of the week, it is a high of 39 and a low of 19. That's all I have for weather. Now back to the desk.
Thank you for that weather update. I'm so happy that sunshine is starting to poke through. Now moving on to our statewide news. The investigation for Nancy Guthrie continues as it has been a week since she was reported missing in Arizona. Investigations have found it apparent that the 84-year-old was kidnapped from her home. Savannah Guthrie had told the potential kidnappers in a social media video that she and her siblings were prepared to pay for her safe return. Detectives and agents continue to perform follow-up work at multiple locations that are part of the investigation. Investigators believe that Nancy Guthrie was taken against her will from just outside her home. DNA tests found blood on Guthrie's front porch, and it was a match for her. Concerns are growing for her health as she needs daily medication. At this time, investigators have not identified any suspects, persons of interest, or vehicles connected to the case. And Vice President J.D. Vance has landed in Armenia as it was a country that had no sitting U.S. vice president or president have ever visited before. The Trump administration offered economic opportunities while it worked to advance the U.S. brokered deal to end decades-long conflict with Azerbaijan. Vance and Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan signed an agreement to push forward negotiations on civil nuclear energy deal. The Prime Minister has expressed his gratitude towards President Trump and Vance, noting that he had accepted an invitation to participate in the first meeting of Trump's Board of Peace. He said that Vance's visit was truly of historic and symbolic importance. He also said it reflects the depth and strong strategic partnership. After dominating performance, the Seattle Seahawks are Super Bowl 60 champions, defeating the New England Patriots with the score of 29-13. CBS News' Gwen Baumgartner has the big game highlights and reaction from Santa Clara.
Super Bowl 60 victory belonged to the Seattle Seahawks. The team hoisted its second Vince Lombardi trophy in franchise history, thanks in part to its dark side defense, which forced 3 turnovers and held the New England Patriots to just 2 touchdowns. Seahawks running back Kenneth Walker was MVP.
We went through a lot of adversity this season, but we came together and we stuck together.
In Seattle, eruptions of fireworks at the Space Needle. and cheers from Seahawks fans.
We won a Super Bowl. We changed the stadium. We are going to be back. Let's go, Patriots!
Patriots quarterback Drake May also vowed to come back stronger after the heartbreaking loss.
You know, it definitely hurts. It's been a long ride.
Ahead of the big game, the NFL faced controversy over halftime headliner Bad Bunny. His performance was panned by President Trump on social media as terrible, but many fans here in Santa Clara disagree.
His performance about love and unity really spoke to a lot of people.
The Grammy Award winner's historic performance celebrated Puerto Rico's history with guest appearances from Ricky Martin and Lady Gaga. The Super Bowl kicked off with a pregame show from Green Day and Charlie Puth's stirring rendition of the national anthem. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Santa Clara.
JT will be right back with your sports break after this.
Caesar knows that sweeping conquest can make him the greatest man in Rome.
He is loved by the people, but deeply mistrusted by the Senate.
Things are getting completely out of control. Mobs rampaging through the streets.
If the Senate insists on being so aggressive, then Caesar's threatening civil war.
Monday night at 9 on WNMU TV.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm JT DeMog, walking you through today's sports action. Starting it off on the court, the Detroit Pistons were defeated by the Washington Wizards this past Saturday night. The undermanned Wizards only dressed 10 of the normal 13 players, and with the odds stacked against them, Will Riley and Sharif Cooper were lights out for Washington, with Cooper scoring 20 and with Cooper finishing with 18 points, to upset the Eastern Conference leading Pistons. The Pistons were trailing by 17 points at the end of the third, but clawed their way back towards the end of regulation, ultimately failing to take back the lead. Despite the loss, Cade Cunningham racked up 30 points with 8 rebounds and 8 assists. With 2 games left before the All-Star break, the Pistons will travel to Charlotte to tip off against the Hornets on Friday night. And now moving across the pond, where 2 former NMU graduates, Nick Baumgartner and Zach Ketterson, are set to compete in the 2026 Winter Olympics. Baumgartner, a seasoned veteran, was a member of the NMU football team and is competing in his 5th straight Winter Olympics for the USA Snowboard Cross team at the ripe age of 44. Baumgartner won gold at the last Winter Olympics, where he became the oldest snowboarder to win an Olympic medal. Zach Ketterson, on the other hand, is competing in his first Olympic event as a member of the men's Nordic ski team. Ketterson was one of the best collegiate skiers during his time at NMU, where he earned multiple All-American and All-Conference honors, as well as being named a CCSA Skier of the Year. We are wishing you all good luck. And now finishing back off on campus, the Northern Michigan University women's lacrosse team was selected to finish second in this season's GLIAC preseason coaches poll. Head coach Lindsay Makrazak returns for her 7th season in charge of the green and gold, as she holds a 53-39 record during her tenure. The Cats are also returning some key players, but most importantly, Josie Lukoski. Lukoski won GLIAC Freshman of the Year in 2023 and GLIAC Attacker of the Year last season, where she set career highs in every statistical category, as well as breaking the NMU single-game point record twice in a 3-game stretch. Caitlin Wozni will also return for Northern after earning Newcomer of the Year honors at the 2025 Wildcat Awards. And finally, the 2025 Breakthrough Player Athlete Sophie Langsdale returns for yet another season. Langsdale plays a crucial role for the Wildcats midfield and was one of 4 Wildcats not named Josie Lukoski to have double-digit points and double-digit ground ball turnovers. That's all I have for sports. Now back to the desk.
Thank you, JT, for that sports update. So, Emily, did you happen to catch the Super Bowl halftime show?
I did. It was pretty interesting.
I absolutely thought that was a pretty killer performance, pretty sure. But that's all the time we have at Public Eye News. I'm Bianca Kroll.
And I'm Emily Goodacre.
We'll see you next time.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.